We got to teach planning like the slouch next time. I'm gonna work them up to the point.
Okay, you lead.
All right. On 3, 2, 1. Greetings, dear brother. This is Mr. DeKeither here once again. As you see, I'm rocking my purple on behalf of the Reviving Jackson Rising Studios here with the proprietor and owner, the person who's developing this community center, none other than our Ward 4 City Councilman, DeKeither Stamps. How you doing, sir?
Brother, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, look, I can't really just take all the credit for you having me because it's you that has created this space, man. You created a space where young men and young women could come on in and get some computer literacy. They can get some knowledge about how to live their lives, some skill set development, some mentoring. And these rooms are just coming together, man. I mean, we were shoveling gravel one day. We putting the garden in one day. I mean, what's the total plan for what you got?
Well, I don't know the total plan.
Yeah.
I just know that we're on the pathway to fulfilling what we're here to do.
Yeah.
And when you know you in that right groove, can't nobody talk you out of it.
Right. I mean, one thing about it, when you got a vision and you have a plan, it's easy to stay on the path that leads to success, ain't it?
That's right.
And not get distracted by some of the, they might be very real, but they're also tangential side issues.
Right.
That really don't deserve the priority that should be made towards creating a foundation for success, right?
That's right.
Right.
That's right. And we just have to use what we have and start where we are.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the premise of what we decided to do, because for a long time we talked about problems, we philosophized about different things, we got conscious.
Right.
And all this stuff, but at the end of the day, you can only start where you are.
Right.
And you can only use what you have.
That's right.
So start where you are, use what you have, and if you honestly believe that, your needs will be provided for on the journey, start walking.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been doing. Just start walking.
You kind of sound like, our early ancestors, like Booker T. Washington, who was an institution builder, and they always talked about his compromised relationship with white supremacy in terms of being a sellout, Uncle Tom and all that. But he was like what Dr. John Henry Clark called a strategic Uncle Tom, right? He was getting what he got from white folks in order to benefit the community of black folks. And part of it had to do with setting a foundation. And the first building he built was the education building, right? It wasn't the I'm going to be a porter, I'm going to be a handmaiden business. It was the education building, right? And I'm saying, now here you are, multiple hundreds of years later, helping to build a community center within Ward 4 to provide services on behalf of the constituents, not only of Ward 4, but of the entire city of Jackson. I mean, where's your inspiration? What is your motivation? What is it that inspired you to say, hey, you know what? Somebody has to do it, and the somebody is me.
Well, you start looking at our community. We got several different types of institutions.
Right.
From churches to schools to colleges. And I think that they've kind of gone off course a little bit. Yeah. From a standpoint of they've started processing people through them, but not taking the people through a process.
That's a very important distinction.
And so, I think that we've gotten to, pass this grade. Go from the young folks Sunday school to the adult Sunday school. Go from the youth choir to the adult choir. Right. Go from a junior deacon to a deacon, right? And it's a stair-step of position, which is important, which plays a role. Right. But I think symbiotic to that process has always been traditionally in our past taking people through a process internal. Yeah, right. Inside them. Not just, you pass the test, you graduate the class, or you move to the next position. Right. But what internal process has happened inside your heart and mind that has elevated you, that has evolved you. Yeah. And so our focus here is soft skills, intangibles, with the basis being brotherhood, sisterhood, and service. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, with that,
and you can't have brotherhood without understanding manhood.
Correct.
You can't have sisterhood without understanding womanhood.
Right. And that deals with the holistic, I call the holistically accurate knowledge of self, which is a process of development. But you in that you talked about some of the institutions, and it takes institutions to shape and develop the behavior patterns of the masses of the people.
That's right.
And two of the institutions you mentioned were two of the first institutions we had, the Black church and also the Black college. And I just want you to speak briefly on, some of the work that has been done by Black churches and Black colleges to get us to this point where we can have a choice, right? Right? Instead of talking about how something might be not the best it could be, how about reminding ourselves of how we got over, as the church song sings, right?
Hey, don't forget the bridge that brought you over.
Yeah, that's right.
The Black church and the Black school systems all the way up have undergirded the community.
Right.
To a degree, integration, in the integration process, we lost some of that structure.
Very true.
Of those institutions.
Right. Very true.
And what we have to do now is understand that we have to do some foundational work.
Right.
In those institutions when it comes to commitment to major purpose.
Yeah.
And the major purpose is to evoke a process internal.
Yeah.
Of the man, woman, and child.
Right.
To get a different person on the other end. When you just process people through, you just got a processed person. Right. But the actual workings of the internal brain, just because you can pass a test doesn't mean that you can pass life.
Yeah.
And so what we try to do is be real basic.
Yeah.
I just want you to be successful in life.
Yeah. Right.
I'm going to let the preacher get you to heaven.
Right.
I'm going to let the teacher get you a degree.
Right.
I just want you, and we just want the folks to come through here to be successful in life.
Right.
Do you have the skills that it takes to be a man?
Right.
In America?
Yeah.
Do you have the skills that it takes to be a woman?
Right.
In America, on Earth, in 2016?
Right.
Irregardless if you have a degree or some level of title, that's great, but you still need the skills. Right. I was speaking to a youth group, about 60 young men the other day, and I said, if your woman has to turn to another man,
watch out,
to do the man tasks around home,
right?
It don't matter how much money you make.
Yeah. She'll
still question
your manhood, right?
Your ability to be a man.
To her.
Right. When it comes to fix the doorknob, hang the curtains,
or protect her.
The mailbox is broken.
Right.
Clean my gun.
Right.
Change my. I mean, so in conjunction with the skills you learn as you process the positions, the levels of education, there are still some basic things that you need to know how to do. Build a fire.
Right.
Change a tire.
Right.
Change the oil. Protect.
Right.
The basic things.
Yeah.
So that's what we focus on.
Right.
And to some people it may seem crazy.
Yeah.
Like if you grew up with a rock star father, the stuff we teach you is like, why the heck are you teaching that?
Right.
Because you take it for granted.
Right, like I do.
Like I do. Right. I take it for granted. Like, what in the world?
Right. Because I had a pretty good dad.
I had an awesome one too.
I didn't know it. Until I got around other people who didn't have one at all.
Hey, and I still to this day don't appreciate it enough.
Not fully. I can't fully appreciate what my dad gave me because a lot of the lessons he gave me, when I got him, I hated him for him. Right? I didn't recognize it as an investment in me. Right. I was like, I just hate doing what you're telling me to do right now.
Hey, what
is it you got me doing,
Hey, I wish, people, my mom, my sister is like, man, your dad used to beat you all the time. Well, I wish I wish I got 10 times
more
beats.
beats, right? For what he was whipping me for, because I needed my butt whipped. How dare I stand up to the man that was providing food and shelter and clothing, protection and safety for the family, not just for me.
For the family.
For the whole family. He was sacrificing his total self on behalf of the family.
Right. But not just the family in the house.
Yes, the family out the house.
We got cousins and aunties and
neighbors.
Neighbors and everybody.
Look, we had everybody over my house, man.
Right.
Look, on my block, I'm South Central LA, I had friends who were like 10 different brothers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, like 10 different brothers I can count as friends.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them had their mother and father in the house.
Right.
Only 2 of them had their fathers.
Mm-hmm.
And even their fathers, only 1 of them had the mother and the father, and they were estranged.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about just 10 people in my immediate circle,
Mm-hmm.
and I was the 11th or the 12th.
The anomaly.
Yes, right, who had mother and father at home, both working.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother got to keep her own money.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that time, my father made enough money to be able to take care of the whole household. Buy my mother a car. Perhaps not the car she wanted, but he was able to buy her a car, pay her insurance and all that. Okay, I'm saying it was a different time, the economics were different. My point is the definition of manhood that he subscribed to was one that said you're supposed to sacrifice like that. You're supposed to give yourself like that. You're supposed to be selfless. You're supposed to not get the credit when everything is working good. You're supposed to take the blame when everything is going bad. He subscribed to a philosophy that came up in a culture of the definition of manhood that said that's what you're just supposed to do.
That's right. And that's what we focus on here.
Yeah.
we create a space.
Yeah.
For manhood and womanhood to be experienced in a safe place.
Right.
Because it takes a little bit of vulnerability.
Yeah, it really does.
To do this.
And that hurts a lot of times,
Right.
especially in this environment.
Yeah. So that's what we're focused on here is just doing the best we can, starting where we are.
Mm-hmm.
We meet people where they are.
Yeah.
Now that requires us sometimes to go some places with people that are not necessarily comfortable to us.
Right.
But see, I think we've gotten kind of cliche in our execution of community development. You got to meet people where they are. Well, that's what you got to do.
Right.
But do you want to do it?
And also, how do you do it most effectively?
Right. You got to take your suit and tie off, and I got my coveralls on.
Right. Because you ain't nothing but just old country boy.
Right. You got to take your suit and tie off.
Right.
You meet the people where they are, and you in the suit and tie, but they don't even own a suit.
Yeah. Right.
You got to meet them where they are.
Right. Or they got a suit, they don't know how to wear it right. They got the suit on, but they don't wear it right.
We do necktie classes.
Yeah. They got a piece of broccoli in their teeth, and you don't know if they're saving it for next week, or they just don't know it's there. What's that?
We do iron your shirt.
Yeah. That's a real issue.
Right.
That's why you got 4 ironing boards in here.
Right. Iron your shirt.
Right. Yeah.
Clean your shoes.
Yeah.
I thought you just threw them in the washing machine.
No. Don't work that way. No, these are different kind of shoes.
Right.
Wear a belt that goes up to your waist. The belt does not hang under your butt cheeks.
Let me size your pants for you.
Yeah, right.
Based on the dimensions of your hips.
Seems like a foreign conversation sometimes, right?
Because we do this
Yeah.
because we want our children to see the constant example as well.
Yeah.
So they can in turn duplicate the model on down.
Right.
It's not that we got a problem. See, be honest with you, I don't have a big problem with sagging pants. And my priority list, sagging mines is at the top.
Right. But way above sagging pants.
Way above sagging pants.
Right.
Way.
Because we were getting hung and shot, lynched, and put in jail with suit and ties. So it wasn't sagging pants and braided hair that got that happening.
Right.
Let's be very clear about the system we live in.
We focus on sagging mines.
Yes.
Then they will want to pull their pants up.
On their own.
And they'll see my example.
Right.
And they'll say, well, hold on, I need to do this, and I need to do this.
Right. I say, if you got a problem with a brother wearing sagging pants, give him a job climbing a ladder. And I guarantee you don't have to worry about sagging pants too long, because he can't get the job done with the ladder.
You'll be amazed at when you meet people where they are, especially young men.
Right, starting here.
Right.
And here.
Right. You'll be amazed at how many young boys sit down and pee.
Because their mothers taught them to up till they were 7 years old because they didn't want to deal with the mess. Because there's no fathers, the uncles are absent, they're incarcerated, they're unemployed, they're being decimated by the system that exists.
So when you get in this business of meeting people where they are, and you really want to like really for real, not just like for a bullet point to put on a push card to get
and
somebody
say you're doing something
right. You really want to meet somebody where they are. You have to accept that. And love them through your frustration. Because if you know something and it seems so simple to you.
Because you had a father, you had a community, you went to church, you learned about manners and etiquette, pulling up your pants, putting a belt on, tying a tie, even if it was a clip tie, ironing a shirt, putting on cologne, deodorant, keeping your face right, eye booger out, hairline. You just do what you're supposed to do, right? You're not supposed to burp or fart or raise your hand and talk loud in church. So you learn about decorum and etiquette, right? It's an unchurched generation.
So it's an undeveloped generation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, church is a component, but
not the totality.
Not the totality. It's a component. And it needs to be used as a vehicle to take the people through a process.
Yes.
You know, it's the reason why you get dressed up to go to church. And the effects that has on your spiritual life and your psyche.
Yes, very much so.
Little boys putting on ties.
Right.
If they dress worse for church than they do for school, what do they respect more? Right.
Because if they can't identify with a God concept, then I'm going to be clean. And I'm going to be straight, and I'm going to be right for my God concept. Then, and I'm less than God.
Before you even talk about which religion to go.
We ain't getting into religion.
We ain't do that.
We ain't getting into religion. Just dealing with what it means to get right for God.
That's right.
Even if you don't believe in God. But you understand that the concept is important for the development of a better person.
That's right.
That's
right. So we leave the preaching to the preachers on Sunday morning. We leave Saturday morning for the honey-do list.
Yes.
But Sunday afternoon.
Got to do for honey.
For Sunday afternoon, you know, we come out here and we work together, we fellowship, and we do the things necessary to move the community forward. So thanks a lot for participating.
Well, I want to thank you and Mr. DeMeasy once again. We're here with City Councilman for Ward 4, Mr. DeKeither Stamps. This is the Reviving Jackson Rising Studios. He is the person that is behind setting this up, and it's for the community and not just for him. And whether he's the councilman or not, this place is here on behalf of the community. And whether we shoveling dirt, shoveling gravel, turning over some dirt, planting some flowers, putting up a greenhouse, setting some benches out, putting some blocks out, we're about the work of loving our community. Don't hate me for loving you. And don't hate Mr. DeKeither Stamps for caring about you just a little bit better every day.
I love it.
All right. And what did you say at the end of every radio show?
First, all white folks ain't bad, and all black folks are not good. But you got to use a little discernment to figure out who you're going to deal with. And never let anyone put you in a position where you don't love your own people. Because when you hate your own people, you're part of the very oppression that we're trying to lift ourselves out of.
All right. Shokwe Lumumba couldn't be more proud. Thank you very much. We appreciate you greatly, sir. Thank you also for tuning in. This is Mr. DeMeasy, one life, one love, one enemy, one God, one aim, one destiny. Motto Tep, may we continue to be a blessing to others.